Today you will see something that will change your life tomorrow.
She had no name in the records, no grave marker, no language that anyone alive could understand. For 18 years, one woman lived alone on a windswept island in the Pacific. No tools brought from the outside world, no other humans, no promise that anyone was coming back. Her story does not end in triumph. It ends in 7 weeks. But what happened in between is one of the most extraordinary acts of endurance in recorded human history. San Nicolas Island sits 61 miles off the coast of Southern California. Long, narrow, shaped entirely by wind and salt water. Constant ocean gales, fog that rarely lifts, almost no fresh water, cliffs that drop without warning into cold Pacific swells. The island does not welcome you. It tolerates you if you understand it. The people who called it home for thousands of years were called the Nicoleno. They understood it completely. They fished kelp beds, harvested abalone from tidal pools, hunted seals, and built ocean-capable vessels from a place that gave almost nothing for free. Their isolation had been their protection, until it wasn't. In the early 1800s, Russian fur traders arrived. They brought weapons. They brought disease. They brought Aleut hunters who knew the same waters just as well. The Nicoleno had no defense against what followed. By the 1830s, their population had collapsed. What had been a people became a handful of survivors, economically trapped, politically invisible, waiting. In 1835, Spanish Franciscan missionaries organized a removal. The stated reason was protection. The execution was chaos. A single schooner arrived at San Nicolas Island. A storm was building. People scrambled. Arguments broke out. The ship loaded what it could and left. One person was left behind. Whether she jumped off to search for a missing child, was overlooked in the confusion, or chose to stay, no one recorded it. The truth is gone. What is not gone is what came next. When the ship vanished over the horizon, she was alone. Some accounts say she had a young son with her at first, that he drowned attempting to cross open water in a small canoe. If that is true, then the silence that followed was absolute. No language, no shared memory, no one left. Most people placed in that situation would not survive the first winter. She survived 18 of them. She built shelters using the rib bones of a beached whale, driftwood, grass, and packed earth. She moved them seasonally, repositioning based on a wind direction and access to food. She made clothing from cormorant feathers and sealskin sewn with bone needles and sinew. Without metal tools, every stitch required reshaping stone, recarving bone, starting over when things broke. She timed her food gathering to the tides, dried meat in the wind, collected rainwater and natural rock basins. Archaeologists would later confirm through the objects she left behind that these were not desperate improvisations. They were refined solutions, crafted with precision over years. The physical demands were immense, but isolation at that level is its own kind of pressure. Without other people, the mind has nothing to reflect against, no feedback, no shared language, no social reality. Many documented cases of extreme solitude end in psychological collapse. She sang. Songs from her culture preserved entirely in memory. She spoke aloud, possibly to animals, possibly to spirits, possibly just to keep her voice from disappearing entirely. She marked time, small notations that said, "I am still here. This day happened. I exist." These were not signs of madness. They were the methods of a person refusing to dissolve. In 1853, nearly 2 decades after she was left behind, a sea otter hunter named Captain George Nidiver heard rumors, vague stories, signs of habitation on San Nicolas Island. He organized a landing party. His men found shelters, tools, food remains, but no person. On the final night, she appeared. She had been watching them. She approached carrying roasted wild onions, an offering, a message that needed no translation. She sang a song. One crew member later described it loosely as expressing contentment, readiness. After 18 years, she chose to leave. She was taken to Santa Barbara. Nicoleno and his family housed her. People came to see her. She examined horses, tools, buildings, entire categories of objects that had no place in her world for 2 decades. By all accounts, she was curious, not frightened, not bitter. She did not perform her trauma for anyone. But her body could not adapt. 18 years of a narrow, protein-heavy diet had left her immune system unprepared for abundance. New foods, new bacteria, new pathogens. Dysentery. 7 weeks after her rescue, she was dead. Before she died, a Franciscan priest baptized her. She was given the name Juana Maria. It was the first and last time her identity was officially recorded. Her real name, the one shaped by her culture, spoken in her own language, was never written down. It died with the last person who knew it. She was buried in an unmarked grave at the Santa Barbara Mission Cemetery. The mission records note only that she was the native woman from San Nicolas Island. Many of the objects she crafted, the bone needles, the water containers, the feather dress, were lost in the 1906 San Francisco earthquake and the fires that followed. The feather dress, reportedly sent overseas for study, was never recovered. Her story endures because it refuses comfort. It is not a story about rescue. The rescue came too late and changed nothing. It is not a story of heroism in any conventional sense. There was no audience for her resilience, no one watching, no one keeping score. She survived because she refused not to. 18 years of choosing, quietly, repeatedly, without witnesses, to remain alive and to remain herself. The world forgot she existed. She did not forget herself. That is all that matters, and that is enough. If stories like this move you, like, subscribe, and join us for more true stories of survival, resilience, and the extraordinary limits of the human spirit.
History unlocked. See you next time.